before returning to Crystal Palace. Coco with the throw for Congo. Kessie gets it away, but I thought he'd run it into touch, but it's a free kick given for Ivory Coast. Bonnie. There's Kessie. Brader made the run outside him. Thought he'd run it into touch, but it's a free kick given for Ivory Coast. Dear. Bonnie. Chance maybe to counter here. Kessie. Magoma. Brader was sending Mubele outside him. Skips away from Oriente. It's a good free kick from Mubele. Ivory Coast. Dear. Trying to get a touch on that. Bonnie.
Yeah, I think maybe to counter here. A bit of urgency, and I think that's what the game needs. It's a decent pass out, but certainly give him a chase. But you can see the pace, you can see the awareness, the attitude, good tight control. Just skip past one, almost skip past two, and earned the corner. So well played. Good run. A bit of urgency, and I think that's what the game needs.
Pace on the counter. DR Congo, Mubele, and Kabananga. Bokani, a very different threat to Cedric Bakambu, who started the opener against Morocco. It's an in-swinger and hooked away.
Yeah, I think that's the first set piece of the game. Not a great corner in. Didn't certainly cut out the first person, so it was always going to be cleared.
Kabananga. Oh, it's fallen out for the shot, and it's a terrific finish. And DR Congo take the lead through Neskins Kebano. One of the...
After the great Dutch player, Johan Neskins, who made dead ball situations. Kabananga holds it up. He's got a goal and an assist now for the DRC. Can't ask for a better strike than what the Fulham man was able to provide on that occasion. Can't ask for a better start than what the DRC have been able to manage here in the early stages, the opening 10. And now, well, it looked as though Kessie went from the Zambian referee. There you have it. A goal after 10, an impressive strike. Then, and beautifully set up then by Kabananga with the hold-up play from the throw-in out on that far side. And here is Kabananga looking for a second assist in this match. Early with the ball in, or with the attempt to get that ball in there. Tibenge. The inspired start for the DRC and their supporters, top right of your picture, are having an early party and hoping their sides continues to ride the wave. They've enjoyed here in these early exchanges. Up to this point, no threat if you are just joining us to Lima Tampi's goal. What a strike that was from Neskins Kebano. Born in Montereau, France, a man who scored on debut, keep in mind, against Cote d'Ivoire. Some time back, does so once again. Beautifully hit, he really did find the sweet spot in driving it home beyond Sylvain Boho. Kabananga's touch. Gradel. Most of the attacks on this near side have grinded to nothing, with Gradel finding himself outnumbered on a few occasions. The likes of Mbemba keeping a close eye on him. Isama Jos Mbeko operating out wide on that far side. He had a busy evening looking to keep Mendel in check in that opening game against Morocco for the DRC. Did so impressively with a whole lot of attacking down on his side. Now his Sergeria gets in behind him. Recovered well, however. Well enough to give away the throw-in rather than allowing a cross pace department. Lovely work then in sneaking in to nick it from behind. The communication. It was Junior Kabananga. In the end, the foul from Cote d'Ivoire, somewhat desperate. Here's a man that needs to tread carefully from this point on, one would feel. Did give away that set piece where he went overboard shortly after the goal was scored. Had no choice but to foul his man here in Magoma. With the DRC looking menacing on the counter-attack. Looking lively out in the stands on that far side with the goal scorer. Gebano stands over it. Big men push to in lacking in quality, so no worries for the 28-year-old between the and who's played for France at under 17 level is Gebano. Also played part of the Fulham staff, or playing staff maybe I should say. Over 10 appearances for country. As Bunny picks up. Work rate of Junior Kabananga has been impressive, although he can't stem the movement, the forward movement of Cote d'Ivoire. Sergeria. Zaha looking to make himself another the ball, and well, good work in a defense on that occasion from well, his side had to prove stubborn defensively against Morocco. In the opening stages, they did look as though they were under the cosh somewhat, certainly under pressure. Morocco hit the ground running in that particular match, and many of you will remember, came close to finding the back of the net inside the opening 20 with the shot that came off. Two into the foul out on that far side. He was going nowhere slowly. Bailey, along with Dia, keeping tabs on him, then couldn't but commit the foul. In fact, it was Serge Dia who went in, barged in, I should say, a little over eager. With the last set piece from that far side, it was lacking in quality. They'll be looking for something much better this time around from the game. He didn't get onto the end of it. In fact, his defense took it almost off his fingertips on that. It was every player, barring the man commitment forward, especially when they do have Cote d'Ivoire pinned back. A good number of individual battles to keep an eye on. The Isama Mbeko and Zaha battle out on that far side. Tessarant on occasion will keeping an eye on as well. We'll be looking for a bit of revenge for the loss they suffered at the hands of the Ivorians at the last Africa Cup of Nations in Equatorial Guinea. where the Ivorians won it quite comfortably. 3-1 the scoreline. Firmin Dome Mubele, the man fouled on that far side. Two occasions, Bailey seemed to have been legal the last time around in winning it back for Cote d'Ivoire, or doing so legally. Bunny shields it from one, showing lovely balance then in Max Gradal hasn't had the best of starts here on this near side. On a few occasions he's lost possession now for the Ivorians, who need to be wary on that counter-attack. It's Kabananga involved, with Mbokani having pulled out wide on this near side. The pass was slightly overcooked from Chancel Mbemba, another of the Kinshasa-born brigade, 22 years of age. Plays his club football in England as well. A good number of them in the starting 11 for the DRC play their club football in England. He, of course, in the colours of Newcastle in the Championship. To get behind this team that's found the going tough in the opening match, including 20 minutes of the second encounter here at the 2017 AFCON. They are defending their crowd, or crown rather I should say, from Equatorial Guinea 2015. Tessarand. Good effort with Tipe Mazembe in 2012. Also won in 2013, runner-up in the CAF Confederation Cup in 2013 with Mazembe. Surgeria. There you have it. It's 1-0 to the DRC, a beautifully taken goal by one of the 4 changes made by Florent Tibenge coming into this match. Nieskins Gabano, the man who banged it post in, named after Johan. Our first name goes, Nieskins Gabano. Father was an national who also coached down in South Africa, the current African champion. Well read, beautifully done defensively. Calm heads for the DRC. Now, Mbogani to give chase. And apply a bit of pressure, hoping to force an error from Sylvain Bo. 28-year-old in Cote d'Ivoire. Early. Just wide, flag and stay down then, and a lovely opportunity it was for the run perfectly. Run and ball complementing each other. All that was missing was the perfection in the touch from Wilfred Bony, but more like it, says Michel Doucier. And a scare, a real scare for the DRC. Thoroughly entertaining game or day in the way of the matches from Group B yesterday. While there may have been a bit of a lull some may have fault in the first round of matches between Group B and C. The way things have started here today in Group C certainly will be encouraging for goals. Cote d'Ivoire have to make things happen. But the fact that that goal did come against them early, with enough time, of course, to try and work their way back into this match. It will get very physical between Bogani and Bailey as the evening wears on. Mbemba, whose mother was a former basketball player, international. And take up their defensive formations for the dead ball situation that will follow. Now, Gradel, little joy on the right side, on the left side, so it's moved over to the right. The ball in, wow, keeper's handling, left a lot to be desired, but the Mazembe man has responded well enough then, Matampi. Curling in towards him, may have taken his eye off it at the last moment to see the ball come off his shins then. Wasn't expecting it and didn't react well enough. Took it in towards the back of the net. Out in Italy. Gradel. Uria. Ball in. Zaha arriving on the blind side. Meaning see the corner. Zaha, a man who's already amongst those to have covered the most ground. To 2.5 kilometers he's covered in just 25 minutes of Group C action. Gradel with the ball in there. Perfect. Perfect from Bonny. And it hasn't taken Cote d'Ivoire all too long to find an equalizer. Down into the ground, bottom corner, away from the keeper. Timing of the run and the directing of the ball. Beautifully done. Zaha did well to allow that ball to move on then and not get involved. Wilfred Bonny not to be denied. That's beautiful. As beautiful a header as you will see. Gets up well, directs it low, away from the keeper. One-one. Certainly is a match that promised goals. Who got it all started, Bonny, who's come in with the equalizing strike for Cote d'Ivoire, approaching half an hour's play. So, what is interesting is both the men that have found the back of the net did not start in the opening clashes for their nations in this 2017 Total Africa Cup of Nations. Ball in towards Wilfred Bonny. That'll be day long. One gets the feeling, the man who starts today, the 27-year-old Aston Villa man, starting on the bench after 10. 16 minutes later, Wilfred Bonny not at home to provide the equalizing strike for the defending champions. And Bailey does continue. The Fuller, or Hull rather I should say, they would have met in December, those two clubs. An assist for Junior Kabananga. Climbs up above everybody else, unmarked. Had goal written all over it. My oh my, what a game. Well, the spirits would have dampened after that goal. They conceded. It hasn't taken too much for them to be picked up once. Stuff in the headers we've seen, first from Bunny, now from Junior Kabananga. He joins the top goal scorers in this tournament, those that have found the back of the net on 2 occasions. 3 of them make it 4. Plus, he does have the assist from earlier. Junior Kabananga having an outstanding AFCON up to this point. An outstanding game considering we've only had half an hour go by and 3 goals. So we are having good movement. Kessie to Gradel. Shakes it up. Cote d'Ivoire, another goal. Ball in towards Bonnet. Falls for Zaha. Would have seen it late then with Bonnie going up just in front of him. Once Bonnie didn't connect, Zaha, one would feel, maybe wouldn't be too sure about the flight of the ball. Looked as though it may have come off his thigh, possibly knee, before it went out for the goal kick. Wasn't a bad ball. Here on the left side of the Cote d'Ivoire attack. Well, whilst we've got the battle between Bogani and Eric Bailey on one side, we certainly do have one between, again, barging into Bonnie from behind. There's another set piece given away, this time for the challenge on Wilfred Zaha. We mentioned the battle, the individual battle here between Isama Mbeko and Wilfred Zaha is one to keep an eye on. The legs get tangled up. Mbeko, the guilty party from Bandaga originally, is Mbeko in the DRC. If you are just joining us with half an hour gone by, well, it's a match that's lived up to expectation up to this point, with impressively striking home on the 10th minute mark, and then 14 or so minutes later, Wilfred Bonny popped up with an equalizer, only for Junior Kabananga, who had got the assist for the Gabano goal for the DRC in a game with proper entertainment. There could be more coming our way in the way of goals. Now, ball in, and he's the man that served it up for the header from Kabananga. Offside. Yes, that official is is Mubele. He's also played for Vita Club, and whilst he was down at Vita Club, did enjoy a hat-trick in the CAF Confederations Cup back in 2014 against Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa. Also played for his country at under 20 level. Header clear from Isama Mbeko. 30 years of age. He is amongst the oldest in the starting 11 that has been put forward by Florent Ibenge. In fact, he is the second oldest. The oldest in this 11 is Mbogani, who is 31 in the Europa League. In Cedric Bakambu. It was interesting in that opening match. Bakambu did start for the DRC and eventually made way for Mbogani. Is after he made way, there seemed to be an exchange between he and Florent Ibenge. Not too sure what the exchange would have been about, whether the player was unhappy with the fact that he was substituted, or whether Florent business out on that field. But can tell you this, he was amongst those to have covered the way of kilometers on that particular day. Cedric Bakambu did have very little in the way of service, it need be said. Ooh. Very nearly the situation where both the goalkeeper and defender went for the same ball then. In Sylvain Bohu as well as Canon. Max Gradel. Lovely skill. From those out in the stands, of course, does Gradel work. When it comes to football at this level, not too many competitive matches on the international stage. Gradel, skillful still. Kessie, looking for that byline. Will settle for the corner. Ikoko it was who responded well. Defensively, that is. One of two players in the starting 11. Parents both from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Good works defensively then from Bogani in what looked a header that may very well have turned out to be menacing had it not been for his block. Lovely little back heel then with the run from deep coming in from Memba. And the defense did well to adjust to a situation where they could have been hoodwinked. Oh, 22 goals scored before the action got underway today. We started the day averaging 1.83 goals a match, and we've had 3 inside 40 minutes in this encounter. So maybe helping lower the goal average on the first match. 2. After that point, it dropped to under 2. They have done their bit to try and ensure they pick up that average once again and keep the entertainment levels going. Kebano. Not quite the right angle in the pass in search of Mbogani. From the DRC that are born in Kinshasa. Mbogani, of course, is one of them. Max Gradel. Zaha muscled off of it impressively on the defensive end. Mbogani. The intentions were good. Just a little too much put onto it then in the attempts to pick out Kabananga on that far side. '15-16 season. Expected Max Gradel to be moving up and tearing up this near side touchline. Did Wilfred Boni in the end was left having to offer his apologies for the wayward ball. The end of what has been a thoroughly entertaining first half here with the champions having to come from behind once again whilst the in football watch on, the VIPs or the VVIPs. Zaha takes it in his stride impressively, but can't get the better of Isama Mbeko. Of appearances for countries, Mbeko out on that far side. Mentioned he, of course, a man. Max Gradel. Kessie rather should say, with the ball in field then, driving run from Seridia, the Basel man, now 32 years of age, was the oldest in the starting 11 in squad in the starting 11 at 32 years of age, even with the change. With 5 to go until the end of the first half, they'll be looking to find that equalizing goal. Mentioned that I did enjoy watching Serge Aurier practice his set pieces from a similar sort of area in the warm-up to this particular match. So here he is standing over it. Space to get it up and bring it down, and it goes straight down the throat of Lima Tampi then, who taken up a good position and held on in Dia. Fouled by Kabananga. Again, they look to take it quickly. It's taken a little too quickly whilst Mbogani strays into an offside position, with the GRC looking to pounce on a quick counter-attack here. The advantage into the half-time break. That will be a huge mental boost for them, and relieve some pressure going into the last day of group matches in Group C. With that challenge is Ikoko. We haven't seen any yellow cards as yet. The referee hasn't been in a hurry in that regard. Chosen to give players a time for brandishing cards. Another set piece to Cote d'Ivoire. Given away by Jacques Magoma, born in Lubumbashi. Plays for Birmingham City, also been in the book of Sheffield Wednesday, Albion and Tottenham Hotspur. In fact, also had his youth upbringing with Tottenham Hotspur, did Jacques Magoma. With the back heel stylishly into the overlapping run of Adama Traore. One of two Basel players out on that field is Adama Traore. Birthday will be on the 3rd of Feb. I do believe there will be a round of knockout matches that would have gone by on the 2nd of February. He'll be hoping to be celebrating on the 3rd of February, will Adama Traore. Firmin Ndome Mubele having to switch responsibilities from the attacking side to the defensive side. And of course, they would have been well drilled on keeping a close eye. Those wide on the left side of the Democratic Republic of Congo on Serge Aurier and his surging runs in providing cover for Isama, operating in the left back position. Outswinger gets the last header before Lima Tampis munches it up. You can see a lot of his teammates and opponents do stand over him in the way of height. One minute added on to an entertaining first 45 in this Group C encounter. DRC took the lead after 10th. To finding an equalizer, and then did with a beautifully taken headers. It was Junior Kabananga who was and in the end, Sylvain Kabahu did extremely well in judging the moment to leave his box, then to deal with it. He wasn't offside. Junior Kabananga then had to take evasive action in the end in avoiding Sylvain Kabahu. And was keeper for the DRC at the first half, and his well-taken goals. Kabananga got the assist for a good strike at the first time of asking from Gebano. Then he was at hand himself, Kabananga, to feed off of a good ball from Mobele in re-establishing the lead after Wilfred Burney had cancelled it out. And for the DRC, they'll be loving how the first 45 minutes went. For Cote d'Ivoire, lots to do in turning things around. Half-time score, Cote d'Ivoire 1.
I'm Matthew Ryan, goalkeeper for Valencia. first time in league football, a referee's decision has been changed by
7, 8 people.
I'm not in a destructive mode, never. I'm more constructive.
I think if he'd have got Rooney that season, Chelsea would have probably won the league. So Jose was mortified when it didn't happen. He loves Rooney and he...
Football writer at the Daily Mirror joins us from our beIN Sports studios in London.
I think you will see a British manager fitting that bill, and I do think that Giggs certainly comes.
And yeah, we're very excited about it.
It's not a question of place. It's not a question of dedication.
Energy has to be better.
It's our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy. For you, football is so much more than a sport. That's why we are Cup of Nations, Gabon 2017.
Orange.
It's not a question of place. It's not a question of dedication.
Energy has to be better.
It's our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
He's a great centre-back.
I think his physical strength is one of his strong points, and it sets him apart. Also, his tactical intelligence.
Welcome to Where Heroes Are Made, a series which will relive some of the most remarkable and memorable moments in Europa League history. From his first season in 1971 as the UEFA Cup and incredible stories. The Europa League truly is Heroes Are Made. Season in 2009. On matchday 6, Fulham travelled to Basel in need of a victory to achieve an unlikely progression to the knockout stage. Zamora scored twice in a brilliant 3-2 victory.
A great night for us, as you say, and for myself, you know, to score 2 goals and a header, which I don't often get as well.
Shakhtar Donetsk, after a 1-1 draw in the Ukraine, they would hope home advantage.
Individually, every single one of their players stood out.
And the atmosphere seemed to help as Fulham rode out 2-1 winners. Guerra with the first, and then Zamora with a long-range effort to hand Fulham a place in the last 16, where they would face Juventus. But a disastrous first leg ended with a 3-1 defeat. So, needing nothing short of a miracle, Fulham would face the Italian giants in West London. They got off to a terrible start when
minutes to go. Thankfully, we managed to get a goal back pretty soon.
And then, at 1-1, a turning point. Fabio Cannavaro sent off for the visitors.
Even with 11 men, we was going forward and giving him a hard time. The red card came along, obviously helped us a bit, but we were certainly on the front foot and certainly creating chances.
2 goals followed from Zoltan Guerra, meaning the tie was level on aggregate.
Dempsey steps up with one of probably Craven Cottage's.
Chip on! Wonderful! Absolutely brilliant!
Victory, and provided a night that seemed to sum up exactly what the competition.
The Hamburg games I actually remember being the toughest European games, I think. You know, I think the togetherness, the organisation of our team, it might sound boring, but it gave us the foundations to go and do the things that we did.
Another fantastic night in West London meant Fulham were in the UEFA Europa League final.
Stadium and the prestige and walking out and the trophy being there in front of you as well.
The first 45 minutes, a half which saw 2 goals just after the 30-minute mark. First, Diego Forlan gave Atletico Madrid the advantage. But 5 minutes later, Simon Davis would make it 1-1. The game would remain deadlocked until 4 minutes from the end of extra time, when Diego Forlan broke Fulham.
And it would have been unbelievable feeling for us all to have got. Yeah, it's nice to look back and, you know, it was an amazing time for all of us.
The English Premier League has the finest manager, and the competition is stronger than ever. No one wants Wenger. This season, the game has changed. English Premier League, a season like never before. Live and exclusive on beIN Sports.
The Rubicon has been crossed. For the first time in league football, a referee's decision has been changed by a video ref.
I'm all for improving the game, making it better. I'm not for turning football into something that's refereed by 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
I'm not in a destructive mode.
And he wanted him desperately. Time for him at Chelsea.
Danny, John Cross, Chief Football Writer at the Daily Mirror, joins us from our beIN Sports studios in London.
I think you will see a young, up-and-coming British manager fit in that bill, and I do think that Giggs certainly comes into that prototype, doesn't he?
Stephen Evans, producer of George the Movie.
We're so far down the road now, and yeah, we're very excited.
It's not a question of place. It's not a question of dedication.
Energy has to be better.
It's our commitment.
For you, football is so much more than a sport. That's why we are proud to be an official partner of Total Africa Cup of Nations, Gabon 2017.
Orange.
It's not a question of place. It's not a question of dedication.
Energy has to be better.
It's our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
On his front and back. Great entertainment. In that first 45 minutes, of course, the suggestion in what we saw is that there will be more in the way of goals. That's certainly the hope from the neutrals, although one won't blame those. Cote d'Ivoire, well, they've got it all to do in the second 45 minutes. A draw. Togo will be in action against Morocco later on in the second match of Group C on match day 2 of this particular group. It is the DRC that will get the ball rolling, attacking to the left of your picture. Man who will get the first touch of the second half is Mbogani. Cote d'Ivoire will attack to the right, and by the look of it, maybe looking to make the first change. And it's Adama Traore that will make way for Delhi here. Traore operating in the left back position. The 26-year-old Basel man hardly got forward, and the feeling may be that there was a bit of an imbalance in the way things went about for Cote d'Ivoire between the left and the right. Gradel had his struggles when operating on that left side in the early stage, but certainly found his rhythm as the match did wear on. A couple of goals to go with an assist so far. Canon with the throw-in, the Ado Den Haag player, and who had he's at 188, brings decent height alongside Bailey. For possession here amongst those fighting for it is Bemba, comes off second best of Tongo, or Togo rather I should say. Congo, my apologies to you, as to what we saw in the first match where they weren't anywhere near their best. Good tussle, legal one. Not willing to give an inch. Wilfred Zaha. Bunny. From one Wilfred to another. This Zaha, Bunny continues the movement towards the edge of the box. Then this Mbogani who's going to have to hold it up. Forward, goal, assist, and a goal in the last match, but it doesn't end there. He also puts in a fair bit of work on the defensive side of the game, and they'll need his height and size in the aerial duel that will follow. Max Gradel is the man that has been trusted with this set piece. Look for teammates out on that far side. Just in off the field, then gets a glancing header, a bit more meat, and he may have been off celebrating as we speak. Delhi. There's the man who sees his header go agonizingly wide of goal, then with Cote d'Ivoire looking to come from behind for the second time in this match. They will be a threat from the dead ball situation. He adds, of course, Delhi to the height of this Ivorian side. Good strength shown by Frank Kessie. A stunning job on Max Gradel whenever they have Zaha. As Oria has the option on this near side, he had one stunning delivery towards Wilfred Bonny in the first half. Bonny's header went just wide of goal. Had goal written all over it, that ball in there. Looking for the 1-2 and the touch. Lovely touches from Zaha in avoiding two. Felt he was having his shirt tagged, I do suspect then. Was hoping for a set piece. Will have to settle for the throw-in. There is Zaha. Overcooked it somewhat in search of Gradel out on that far side. Good start to the second half from Cote d'Ivoire and trying to take the game to the Democratic Republic of Congo. not allowing Flores. We have seen one change so far, and it's in behind Gradal, the man who's replaced Basil's Adama Traore. Very nearly scored in the minutes following his inclusion in this game from the dead ball. Tesserand, one of two players that are born in France, I need to say. He born in Meur, France. Born in Germany for Ingolstadt. Joined them on the 31st of August in 2016. Now, space to turn. Gradel. Driving forward then, lovely challenge, everything legal about it immediately. Looking to hit on the counter-attack in search of Bogani. And a bit of physicality coming into it then from Bailey. He's done a good job in looking to keep the lid on Yusuf. Far side, Conan it is with the final delivery, which left a lot to be desired in the end. So, of the two TP Mazembe goalkeepers out on that field, the busier is Lee Batampi here in the second half by some margin. Struggling somewhat the Democratic Republic of Congo since the restart to find their rhythm and keep things moving along. A lot of the ball has belonged to the Ivorians, are looking to dictate matters in their efforts to try and once again come from behind here. They'll be hoping to do so with enough time to look for a winner. Bailey, confident. Bonnie, strong. Has done a great job on Max Gradal. He has been extremely impressive as the 22-year-old. One of the two from Monterio out in France. The other is Nieskins Cabano. Both of them born in France. Ikoko, I mentioned, has both his parents originating. Man who played for France at under 16, 17, 18. Paris Saint-Germain. Then sent out on loan to Créteil, then Le Havre, then on loan once again to Lens. Of Mubele out on that far side, good pace to keep it alive, good strength to shrug off a couple of challenges. He's done well, he's done extremely well, looking to do it all on his own then against Hollands. Couldn't keep his shot low, it was high and Wide in the end, but impressive play from Fermin Dome Mubele. Already has an assist in this match, looking to add a goal to that. A shot that play in 4 matches in 2014 in the Chan Games. Keep in mind, the TRC are the current Chan champions. To Isama Mbego. Kessie. Man who made his debut for the national team as a teenager. They are looking to build around him in the way of that midfield. Looking to take over from the likes of Diaz as the years do go by. Lovely work on this near side. The angle of the ball, not good enough. From strong play, he shrugged off 3 defenders before pulling the shot in. Then from Firmin Ndome Mubele. Another with plenty of football ahead of him at 22 years of age. The likes of Ibenge will benefit from his youth for years to come, one would feel, in the way of the DRC. What Ibenge would love as we approach the 1 hour mark is for his side to score the next goal in this match. One gets the feeling that is means the 2-goal cushion established. It means a real to think about a chance at goal here. He may instead look for the likes of Desarant and Bongani, or Bogani rather I should say, towards that far side, or may just go for goal. Goes for goal and comes off of Gradel last. Corner it will be. In the second half, they've spent precious little time. The DRC, or Democratic Republic of Congo. Cabano's ball in. Did find Tessarant in, just couldn't. He is a French-born man. His father from France, his mother from Congo. Also played for France at junior level, under 19 level. And captain France at under 20 to the man who's just won the last header. Well, he may not be finding a lot of chances falling his way, but Bogani is certainly keeping Bailey honest as He loses out on that occasion. This Kessie over to Gradel. Spent a lot of away from the danger area as well, does Matampi. Decision against Cote d'Ivoire to that far side for the foul. Nothing wrong with having a shot here. They've invited the shot here, lots of time and space, and he gets power onto it. Two good strong hands in denying Ducouré. The Mets man. Gave none of the six a chance of getting onto the end of it. There's the Togo coach. He side in action later on against